For 40 years, buying used was the safest financial move in America. You avoided first-year depreciation, paid less upfront, and got reliable transportation. Financial advisors built entire careers on that advice. But here's what changed. A $25,000 electric vehicle just entered the market targeting the exact price range where 80% of Americans shop for used cars. When Tesla's Model 2 competes on cost per mile, maintenance, and long-term reliability at that price point, what happens to the safety net used cars always provided? The math that protected used car buyers for decades is breaking, and the numbers behind this shift are far more brutal than most people realize. Most buyers still look at one number: purchase price. A 2018 Toyota Camry or Honda Accord sells for $17,000 to $19,000 today. Tesla's Model 2 lands near $25,000. That's a $7,000 gap, and for most people, the decision ends right there. Used wins. Case closed. But here's what changed while nobody was paying attention. Purchase price stopped being the deciding factor around 2022, when fuel costs stabilized above $3 per gallon nationally and maintenance complexity in modern gas engines doubled. Most buyers just haven't updated their calculations yet. They're still using advice from 2010, applying it to a 2025 market that operates under completely different economics. So when was the last time you actually calculated costs per mile over 5 years instead of just comparing sticker prices? Because once you run those numbers, the entire foundation of used car safety starts cracking. California drivers pay $4.40 per gallon right now. A Camry averaging 30 miles per gallon burns 14.6 cents per mile in fuel alone. Drive 12,000 miles annually, and that's $1,752 just in gas. Over 5 years, you're looking at $8,760. Florida at $3.10 per gallon means 10.3 cents per mile, totaling $6,180 over 5 years. Even in Texas, at $2.50 per gallon, you're paying 8.3 cents per mile or $4,980 over 5 years. And those numbers only cover fuel. Oil changes run $80 every 5,000 miles, adding $960 over 5 years. Brake jobs cost $400 to $600 every 40,000 miles. Transmission servicing hits $200 to $300 every 60,000 miles. Then you have spark plugs, belts, coolant flushes, exhaust repairs. The maintenance list compounds aggressively past 100,000 miles. Conservative estimates put total maintenance at $3,000 to $5,000 over 5 years. Add it together. California drivers spend $8,760 on fuel plus $4,000 on maintenance, totaling $12,760. Florida hits $10,180. Even Texas reaches $8,980. That's the real cost of saving $7,000 up front. The gap you thought you were avoiding reappears in your bank account by year 3. Now let's flip to the electric side. A compact EV consumes 0.25 to 0.30 kilowatt hours per mile. California electricity at 31 cents per kilowatt hour means 8.5 cents per mile or $1,020 annually, totaling $5,100 over 5 years. Florida at 17 cents per kilowatt hour brings it to 4.7 cents per mile or $2,820 over 5 years. Texas at 15 cents per kilowatt hour equals 4.1 cents per mile, totaling $2,460 over 5 years. Maintenance tells an even starker story. No oil changes, no exhaust systems, no timing belts, no transmission fluid. Brake wear drops 40% thanks to regenerative braking. Long-term studies show EV maintenance costs running 30% to 50% lower than gas vehicles. Over 5 years, you're looking at $1,500 to $2,000 total for tires, brakes, and suspension. Total 5-year EV cost: California $6,900, Florida $4,620, Texas $4,260. California buyers spend $5,860 more with a used gas car. Florida buyers spend $5,560 more. Even in Texas, used gas car owners spend $4,720 more. That $7,000 savings you locked in at purchase, it evaporates by year 3 in California and Florida, by year 4 in Texas. But here's where this story takes an unexpected turn. Tesla isn't just building a cheaper Model 3. They're re-architecting the entire vehicle around battery technology that fundamentally changes the depreciation curve. Multiple supplier signals point to semi-solid-state batteries in the Model 2. Not full solid state, but a hybrid architecture pushing energy density from 160 to 170 watt-hours per kilogram. In today's LFP packs up to 220 to 245 watt-hours per kilogram. That 50% density improvement means 120 to 160 pounds of weight savings while maintaining the same usable energy. In a compact car targeting under 3,000 pounds, that's massive. Less weight means better efficiency, sharper handling, reduced brake wear, and lower stress on suspension components. This isn't incremental improvement, it's a fundamental shift in vehicle physics. Range follows naturally. With aerodynamics in the 0.23 to 0.25 CD range and a smaller frontal area than Model 3, even a 48 kilowatt-hour pack delivers 275 to 310 miles EPA. Real-world highway driving at 65 miles per hour? Expect 230 to 250 miles consistently. That's enough for daily commuting and road trips without range anxiety. The charging advantage matters even more for ownership. Semi-solid-state materials handle heat differently than liquid electrolyte batteries. They're dimensionally stable under high current and less prone to thermal swelling. Early modeling suggests the Model 2 pack could accept 210 to 240 kilowatts on V3 superchargers. On V4 stations, short bursts could hit 280 kilowatts under ideal conditions. Translation: 10% to 70% in 12 to 14 minutes. That's faster than most compact EVs today and competitive with actual gas station time once you factor in parking, payment, and restroom stops. But here's what matters most for the used car market: reliability over time. Without flammable liquid electrolyte, thermal runaway becomes extremely difficult to trigger. Internal testing shows punctured semi-solid cells heating beyond 480 degrees Fahrenheit without uncontrolled ignition. Cycle life estimates suggest 4,000 to 5,000 full cycles, translating to 700,000 to 800,000 miles before reaching 80% capacity. A used Model 2 with 100,000 miles would still retain 85 to 90% battery capacity. Compare that to a used gas car at 100,000 miles facing transmission rebuilds, engine wear, and cascading maintenance costs. Which vehicle holds its value better? This is where my analysis gets critical. The used car market has always depended on one assumption: used cars were safer because they were simpler. But that assumption died around 2015. Modern gas cars rely on complex emission systems, high-pressure fuel injection, 8 to 10-speed transmissions requiring advanced diagnostics, and electronics so integrated that independent mechanics often can't access codes without dealer equipment. As these systems age, repair costs accelerate sharply. Transmission replacement on a modern Camry or Accord costs $3,500 to $5,000. Major engine repairs exceed $4,000. Emissions failures run $1,200 to $2,800. These failures cluster after 100,000 miles, exactly when most used car buyers enter ownership thinking they're getting reliability. EVs age differently. Battery degradation has proven slower than early predictions. Software updates improve efficiency rather than degrade it. Fewer mechanical systems mean fewer catastrophic failure points. The risk profile has fundamentally inverted. Here's what most analysts are missing. When a $25,000 electric vehicle competes on cost per mile, maintenance, charging speed, and reliability in the exact price range where 80% of Americans shop for used cars, something structural breaks. Used car values depend on sustained demand. If buyers shift toward affordable EVs, used gas car resale values soften. Depreciation accelerates. The safety net disappears. This happens quietly, one buyer at a time, but the trend is visible in wholesale auction data. Used gas sedans sit on dealer lots 18 to 22 days longer than 2 years ago. Depreciation curves in high EV adoption states are steepening measurably. The safety net is fraying. Let's be practical about who should still buy used. If you drive under 8,000 miles annually, live in a low fuel cost state, and plan to keep the car only 2 to 3 years, used might still work. If you rent without home charging and rely on spotty public infrastructure, waiting might be smarter. But for most buyers, especially in California, Florida, and Texas, where infrastructure is expanding, the old assumption doesn't hold. If you drive 12,000 plus miles annually, care about long-term costs, and want expense predictability, the math has changed. Based on your driving habits and location, does a used gas car still make sense? Or does an affordable EV look safer when you run the full calculation? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I read everyone, and real-world perspective helps everyone make better decisions. Here's the bigger picture most people miss. When enough buyers recognize that a $25,000 EV offers lower cost per mile, reduced maintenance, stronger reliability, and better resale protection than an $18,000 used gas car, the used car market doesn't just shift, it restructures fundamentally. Dealers adjust inventory, auction prices drop. Vehicles that held value for decades suddenly face a demand cliff. That's not speculation. It's economic gravity playing out in real time. Tesla's Model 2 is the catalyst making this shift visible to mainstream buyers. Not because it's the best EV ever made, but because it competes precisely where most Americans shop, with economics that challenge the assumption guiding car buying for 2 generations. So here's exactly why that 40-year-old safety rule just shattered. When a $25,000 electric vehicle beats an $18,000 used gas car on cost per mile, maintenance, and long-term motor reliability, the math that protected used car buyers for decades completely breaks down. The safety net disappears, and most buyers haven't updated their calculations yet. This shift accelerates from here. Within 24 months, multiple automakers will launch affordable EVs in this exact price range, forcing the used car market to restructure faster than dealers can adjust. The question isn't whether this happens. It's whether you recognize it before your next purchase decision. If this analysis helped you see the real numbers behind the market shift, hit that like button. It tells me you want more breakdowns like this that connect technology to actual financial decisions. And here's what I want to know. If you're shopping for a car in the next 12 months, does this change your strategy completely? Drop your honest answer in the comments. Those real perspectives help everyone watching make smarter decisions. If you want to stay ahead of these market shifts before they become obvious, subscribe to Tesla Zone and hit that notification bell. We break down the economics reshaping transportation while there's still time to benefit from knowing early. Because here's the reality. The buyers who understand this transition first will save thousands. The ones still using 2010 advice in 2025, they'll learn the expensive way. I'll see you in the next one. Tesla's stock just hit an all-time high, but not because of car sales. Elon Musk revealed 3 fully autonomous AI products launching in 2026 that could fundamentally change how society functions. Optimus robots learning jobs from YouTube videos, cybercabs operating without drivers on public streets, and Tesla semis hauling 80,000 pounds of cargo autonomously. These aren't concepts anymore. Production starts next year. But here's what nobody's talking about. If these 3 products actually work, what happens to the millions of jobs they're designed to replace? Let's start with the product Elon Musk calls the biggest of all time. And for once, this isn't just Silicon Valley hyperbole. Optimus, Tesla's humanoid robot, just reached a development milestone that changes everything. Elon stated publicly that this machine will eventually outsell smartphones. There are roughly 6.8 billion smartphones on Earth right now. He's talking about billions of humanoid robots walking among us, working in factories, homes, and businesses. The question isn't whether this sounds ambitious.